if you're looking for positives out of this game from me, I don't have any. No, I hated this game with a goddamn passion. I really did. So, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and before we get into this, Flyers lost to one of the worst NHL teams this season, the Montreal Canadiens, by a score of 3-2. The most important thing you can do is hit that sub button. I will greatly appreciate that. We just got over 400 subscribers, so let's get on the goal to 500. Yeah, maybe I'll do a giveaway when we get there. Try to impulse you to get to the 500 subscriber count. So, if you are a new viewer to the channel, looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, definitely hit that sub button. And if you're a current viewer of the channel, I am grateful for you being here as always. So like I said, let's get on that path to 500 subscribers. Let's get to that giveaway, and let's move on from there. So getting into the business tonight, I really hated this game. I really did. I just did. That's all I can say. That's really all I can say. I hated this game. I hated this game with a passion because there are no positives to take out of this game. Maybe a couple, but not major positives. One, obviously, Carter Hart played fantastic, which is obvious. That's basically something that's going to happen the rest of the season. Carter Hart is fantastic, and he's basically one of the only bright spots on this team throughout the entire year. Consistent bright spots, I should say. And, yeah, Max Willman continues to make some sparks, and for some reason, he was the best forward on the ice tonight. I have no idea why. Good for him. Definitely good for him that he was the best forward on the ice tonight, but that's also bad in retrospect. That is very bad for him to be the best player on the ice. Jackson Cates gets his first NHL goal. Congrats to him. He shouldn't be one of the only ones that are scoring. Max Willman, Jackson Cates shouldn't be the only goal scorers for this team. That first period was god-fucking awful. Yeah, you got better as the game went along, but at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. It just doesn't. You don't come out that slow, that lack of energy to the worst goddamn team in the league. You just don't. This team coming into this game has lost 7 straight. You just don't come out with that flat of an effort. Take a penalty early on, and they score right after the power play ends. You just don't do that. You don't do that. Come on, boys. Be better. You just got to be better than that. 10-game losing streak, that was frustrating. There were games where they were completely out of it. This was a fucking winnable game. And they just, they lost it. They lost it at the end of the game. They lost it in the overtime where they dominated the overtime. For some reason, they couldn't goddamn score. Literally, the best shift on the ice was from Patrick Brown and Scott Lawton and Travis Sanheim. Yeah, that was your best goddamn overtime shift. And you had a 4-on-3 power play, for Christ's sakes, in there. Unbelievable. And literally, I can't trust this team to score in a shootout. Neither should Carter Hart. Because this team lacks creativity in the goddamn shootout. I have no idea why. It's literally the same shit coming off the ice every time. Same move. Easy for the goaltenders on the other side. I feel bad for Carter Hart. He allowed 1 goal in the shootout, sniped by Jonathan Drouin. But then Sean Couturier, Claude Giroux, Cam Atkinson, they all did the same goddamn thing. Couldn't score. And yeah, Caden Primo got hurt at the Cam Atkinson shot. Hopefully he is doing all right, but still. Caden Primo coming into this game did not have good numbers. Yeah, he stepped up in this game for Montreal. But the Flyers allowed Montreal to, garner some goddamn momentum, which is the bad thing. Montreal struggles to score goals. Montreal struggles to keep pucks out of the back of their net. You should have dominated this team like you goddamn did to the Devils a couple of days ago. Unbelievable. Really unbelievable. That first period was goddamn trash. It was. Montreal dominated you on all aspects of the puck. They kept the puck basically in your zone for the entire time. You kill a penalty off early. They score right after it. Lehkonen off of deflection, which it was a shot from the point from Kulak. And then it deflects off of Keith Yandel, then Lehkonen, past Carter Hart. 1-0 lead for Montreal. Honestly, without Carter Hart in this period, because Montreal in this first period had 19 shots. 19 shots to 8 for the Flyers. If it wasn't for Carter Hart, this game could have easily been out of hand. This game could have easily been 3-0. Could have easily been 4-0 if it not for Carter Hart making some saves in that period. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So, you're down 1-0 after getting dominated in that first period. Unbelievable. Embarrassing. Mike Yeo should be throwing trash cans, breaking some benches, yelling at this entire team for that embarrassment. Second period. Okay, Montreal starts out with a strong shift, but then you come back down the other way. Third line out there, Max Willman looking like the best player on the ice. Gets a pass from JVR, finds a little bit of a bouncing puck, puts it by Primo, ties the game up at 1. His second goal of the season. Not that long later, I won't say not that long later, Montreal does get a power play in this period as well, I believe. Yes, they do get a power play in this period. For some reason, I forgot about that. No, actually, both of their power plays came in the first period. The Flyers actually got a power play in the second period that they weren't able to score on. And Keith Yandel, my goodness. On this power play, Keith Yandel, I have no idea what the fuck he is doing. Literally, you got Kurt Suzuki. Why am I saying Kurt Suzuki? Nick Suzuki. Coming up the ice on the penalty kill. Yandel literally throwing the puck into the middle of the ice in his own goddamn zone. Here comes Suzuki forechecking. Thank God he didn't score. Thank God for Carter Hart. But literally, the miscommunication was all over the ice tonight for the Flyers. Literally, it was. It showcased itself in that first period, and it had little increments as the game went along in the second and the third period. Passes weren't tape to tape. Our passes weren't pitch perfect. And for some reason, we just, I don't know. We just couldn't get dangerous chances as the game went along. A lot of those were easy saves for Primo. There were some dangerous chances in that overtime. I'll definitely give him that, but still. I wouldn't consider really everything dangerous in this game. I just wouldn't. A lot of, shots from the point that were blocked. Montreal blocked a lot of shots tonight. But, yeah, just nothing really too overly dangerous. But you get towards the end of the period, the Flyers get a rush going up the other way, 2-on-1 with Jackson Cates. He brings the puck up, puts one by Primo, definitely one that he would want back, but hey, first NHL goal for Jackson Cates. He would take that any day of the week. You go up 2-1 going into intermission. Okay, you get dominated in that first period. You come out of the second period with a 2-1 lead. Find a way to close this game out in the third. They were doing that pretty much for the most part, but that period was going by really quickly, honestly. There were barely any whistles in that third period, but it just felt as the period went along, the Flyers were keeping stuff into the offensive zone, but it just felt, as the period went along, way too back and forth for my liking. The Flyers were giving Montreal way too many opportunities, and then it turns into, get a commercial break, you got a face-off in the offensive zone with a little over 5 minutes left, you lose that face-off. And speaking of face-offs, just for the Flyers in general, yeah, they're one of the better face-off teams in the league, definitely top 7 at least, but they don't win the important face-offs. Like, on their first power play, they didn't win that face-off, and it turned into that entire debacle. This face-off right here, really important face-off in the defensive zone coming out of the commercial break. They don't do it. You got Ben Sherratt literally just going around the blue line, coming up the left side, throws one on Carter Hart. There's a little bit of a bouncing puck in that scram, and you got Dolphin putting home a rebound past Carter Hart, tying the game. This dude hasn't scored in the NHL for 5 years. Been up and down AHL type of guy. Of course that guy scored. They've been talking about it the entire goddamn game. You knew he was going to score tonight. It was just obvious. So, late game tying goal there with a little over 5 minutes left. Yeah, the Flyers had some chances as the game went along. They probably had one of their best shifts of the game at the end with Couturier, Konechny, and Scott Laughton out there. For some reason they just couldn't find a way to pop one home. A little cross-crease action. They couldn't connect on some pucks. Even for players like on Montreal side, Cole Caulfield was all over the ice tonight. He had a great game. He just couldn't find a way to pop one home. But still. And even going towards the end of the third period, what was it, 15, 14 seconds left? Montreal brought the puck up into the Flyers zone. There was, maybe 10, 7 seconds left on the clock, and you got Konechny just standing by himself in the Flyers zone, not pushing up. What are you doing? Go up there, take a risk. Take a risk. There's 10 seconds left. What's the worst that can happen? What is the worst that can happen? Take it up the ice. No, we're just going for the overtime. We're going for the overtime. We're getting the point. We want the point, eh? Really? Are you serious? Unbelievable. So you go in the overtime, and you do dominate this overtime. I'll give them that. The Flyers get a power play. Yeah, Couturier driving the net. Primo makes the save. Okay, Sherratt, maybe this was a little bit of a, soft call, I would say, on the refs. I would definitely consider that. He gets called for interference. I'm not sure if it was for shoving Couturier after the whistle or if it was for that little scrum that he got in Konechny where he threw a little, gloves into his face there. I'm not sure where the penalty was called in that instance, but still, I think in that standpoint of the game, you don't call a power play there, but it doesn't really matter. The Flyers didn't score on it. They really didn't generate, I would say, that, good of chances. They got some clap bombs there, but Primo made some easy saves. Really no rebounds given up, no deflections. They tried some one-timers to Couturier. He missed the net 20 billion times, and nothing happens there. And then Carter Hart is forced to make a great save on Shootout coming out of the box. Clap bomb coming out of it. He felt that one, definitely. You saw that on the feed. But that face-off, you saw Patrick Brown, Scott Lawton, and Travis Sanheim out there. Like, what the fuck is Patrick Brown doing out there in the overtime? But I digress, because apparently that was the best shift on the ice for this goddamn team, because Travis Sanheim making a fantastic drive up the ice, beats all the defensemen, somehow did not score on this play. Primo makes the save. It kind of replicated what Provorov did a couple of years ago against this team in overtime. They're just without, between the legs play. But Sanheim wasn't able to finish. Probably the best shift in the overtime for that team. And then you go into the shootout. And what more is there to say about the shootout? Because the Flyers can't score for a goddamn hell. They just can't. They just can't. I can't rely on this team to score in the shootout whatever for. Drew in, first shot of the shootout. Goes left, goes right side on Carter Hart, beats him glove side. Okay, 1-0 shootout. Couturier comes up. Does a little deke, can't beat Primo. Here comes Caulfield, goes wide. Save Hart, technically. Claude Giroux, taking his time, doesn't really get a shot off or anything on Primo. He makes the save. Other shot comes in for Montreal as my NHL app closes again. Carter Hart makes the save. Here comes Cam Atkinson, does a little couple of dekes. It was Hoffman for Montreal, as my feed actually, unfreezes. So Hart made the save on Hoffman. That was a big save. Here comes Cam Atkinson, comes up with a little speed, tries to do, a couple of dekes, goes to the right side once again, and Cam Atkinson, freaking Caden Primo, makes the save. And he does get hurt on the play. Hopefully he's okay, but still, I can't rely on this goddamn team to score in the goddamn shootout because they lack creativity. They do the same shit. It feels like when this team gets into the shootout, they just want it to end. They just want to get the hell out of there. And that's bad. Dude, this team sucks in the shootout. They're historically bad in the shootout. I get that. But please, show that you're trying. Show that you give a fuck in the shootout. Please. You're leaving Carter Hart out there to do all the work. My God. My God. My God. My God. My God. 3 stars to the game. All Montreal Canadiens, even though I think Carter Hart should have got at least one of those stars. Maybe him and Primo. But Jonathan Drouin gets first star, Laurent Dauphin gets second star, and Ben Chiarot gets the third star. Shots on goal in this game, 40-39 in favor of Montreal. You should not be giving up 40 shots to the Montreal Canadiens. Just an insight. Face-offs, Flyers won 60% of them. Even though they didn't win the important ones, both teams go 0-for-2 on the power play. A very physical game on the Montreal side, 22 hits to 13 for them. Montreal blocks 15 shots to the Flyers 11. A lot of giveaways in this game. 16 giveaways from the Flyers and 15 giveaways for Montreal. Shots on goal per period. First period, 19-8 in favor of Montreal. In the second period, 14-11 in favor of the Flyers. And then in the third period, 11-8 in favor of the Flyers. And in overtime, 6-2 in favor of the Flyers. Still, no goddamn positives for me. Just none. Just none. This was a game that you should have won, and you lost in the shootout. I don't care that you got the goddamn points. I don't care that you're 3-0-1 in your last 4 games. This should have been a win. This is an easy win on the books, and you lost. This was an obvious trap game, and you lost. Because you came out flat in the goddamn first period, and basically that gave Montreal, the energy to say, hey, we got this energy here. Hey, we could probably compete with this team. Hey, we can win this game too. That's what that first period gave to this Montreal team. That's what it did. And I don't care the excuses, if there's even any excuses. Oh, there was no crowd in Montreal today. That affected the boys. I saw Mike Yo's press conference. He literally said that to the guys on the bench. Boys, we played against this team in the bubble. You should know this by now. You should know what this feels like by now. I don't care if it's weird. I don't care if it's a weird feeling. Go out there and play. Go out there and play. It literally doesn't matter when the puck drops if the crowd's there or not. Win a goddamn hockey game against one of the worst teams in the league. That was your job, and you failed. I don't care that you got the point. The loser point. You don't get any positives from me here. You just don't. You just don't. You should have won this game, and you didn't. And it sucks to see that. So, your upcoming schedule, because honestly, who knows if the Flyers are going to be playing these next few games, because with all this stuff going on around the league, with the COVID, teams getting affected by COVID, who knows if the league's eventually shuts down for a little bit just to get this stuff underway, just to get this situation under control a little bit, because there's a lot of teams that are getting so many players affected with COVID. Calgary, they have so many players down on the COVID list. They're basically, I think a lot of their team is, there are so many teams around the league that are being forced to play because they just won't postpone the games. So I wonder if the NHL is even going to, postpone the season. I wouldn't say for the season, just postpone the season until the Christmas break is over. Maybe they'll do something like that. I have no idea. But right now, with the way the schedule looks, you have a Saturday home game against the Ottawa Senators. That's another one of the worst teams in the league, even though they're a very young team and they're an up-and-coming team. They're still not that good. That should be a game you win, hopefully. Hopefully. Then you got 2 important games next week, 2 divisional games. Tuesday at home against Washington and Thursday on the road against Pittsburgh before your break. And the way that I see this is going to go out, Saturday, if the NHL doesn't postpone anything, Martin Jones is going to get that start, and then Carter Hart's going to get the 2 starts against Washington and Pittsburgh. That's how I see it's going to happen. So, that's your upcoming schedule. I am not happy with this game at all, and I want to hear your thoughts on it as always. So what are your thoughts in the comment section down below? Do not forget to leave those down there on the Flyers' performance, on Carter Hart, just everything, the shootout, how much you hate it, how much you hated this game, all that stuff down there below. And also don't forget to drop a like on this video. Do not forget to check out the Pan Alliance, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Flyer.pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you do is hit that sub button. Come on, I'll give a giveaway out on 500 subs, and I will see you next time.